Right now, NBC 26 live at 5. Firefighters find remains of a Michigan man in the town of Niagara. Plus, it's a done deal. The Packers officially announced their latest change at the front office. And an update on the fire that tore through an apartment complex this morning in Shiocton. We're continuing coverage now. A 19-year-old Michigan man found dead in the woods in Marinette County. Tonight, sheriff's deputies still trying to figure out how he got there in the first place. NBC 26's Shane Gustafson has the latest on that investigation.
Police say 19-year-old Jacob William Gleason was on his way back home to Houghton, Michigan when he drove into the woods. That's where police say he had car problems. Gleason was coming back from the Manitowoc area, where according to police, he also had car troubles. Now, nearly half a dozen volunteer firefighters searched the woods near the town of Niagara for nearly 6 hours Sunday, hoping to find Gleason. But because the cell service was so bad, they too got lost in the woods. Marinette County Sheriff's deputies came in to find those rescuers, a process which they say wasn't easy.
This is a unusual case, though, and a very ended up tragic case. But it goes to show you what can happen when you get way out here somewhere, this time of year especially, and take off on foot.
Police say Gleason's car did have a dead battery, and it looks like he tried to start a fire in the area. The department is working with Michigan State Police to try and retrace his route. Reporting in Marinette, Shane Gustafson, NBC 26.
And the death of a 2-day-old infant still under investigation. The infant was found dead over the weekend in Green Bay. Officers responded to the 1100 block of Marquette Avenue that you see right there just before 11:30 that night. The department says the child was already dead when they got there. The Green Bay Police Department has identified the woman who they say likely died from exposure to the cold. Officers say 61-year-old Holly Van Ark was found dead on January 3rd on the 1900 block of Eastman Avenue. Officials say Van Ark was dropped off to her home but fell down as she was trying to find her keys, and she then hit her head. An apartment fire in Shiocton displaced about nearly 24 people this morning as crews battled the blaze. Eric Kress is live in Shiocton with an update on that. Eric, what can you tell us?
Just a couple of things that have panned out just slightly differently.
Broad and Railroad Street.
Now, the majority of those 20-plus folks here in Shiocton.
When crews arrived, they noticed smoke and fire coming from an upstairs unit, and firefighters immediately started to evacuate the building. The good news, according to investigators, is that no one was injured, and the door to the unit where the fire is believed to have started was closed, so the fire department got out here and therefore got it contained.
Make sure your smoke alarm's working, because I think that saved a few lives here today. They went off. Matter of fact, the neighbors told me that they could hear the smoke alarms over there.
And it took firefighters about 4 hours to put out the fire at this time. The chief believes that the fire started due to some sort of electrical issue in one of the units, but most of the tenants are expected to be let back in their home. All right, temperatures are going up for a change for once. It looks like that trend's going to stay here for a while. Gino Recchi with a look at your first forecast. Gino.
That's right. What a great way to kick off the new work week with temperatures above that freezing mark. We saw highs in the mid and upper 30s, 36 degrees officially at the Green Bay Airport. And guess what? That was the warmest day since almost the middle of December. It was about 20 days ago since we had temperatures anywhere similar like that. It was 41 degrees set back in December 19th. The warm air is going to be sticking around here for the next couple of days with a high pressure to the south and a storm system to the north. We're talking temperatures perhaps near 20 degrees above normal. Your full forecast ahead.
Thank you so much, Gino. Now, a Kimberly man accused of peeping in windows appeared in court today. Our Matt Jarko is live in the town of Buchanan with more on that story. Matt.
Mo, prosecutors say Joseph Williams looked through the windows of several homes here and around Brookhaven Drive last night. One resident told police that Williams looked through the bathroom window where his 13-year-old daughter was taking a shower. And police say that resident actually bought a surveillance device because of previous incidents here around his home and the neighborhood. Police say that resident's video helped them then find and arrest Williams. They also found footprints leading them to several nearby homes and then matched it to Williams's boots.
This is a very concerning behavior. This is not something that any normal person would engage in. So what else this could lead to is what we would want to be aware of and be conscious of.
And prosecutors say Williams got convicted of a similar situation about 4 years ago at a neighborhood in Kaukauna. Because this case involved a minor, it is a felony charge of invasion of privacy. Williams did appear in court today where a judge set bail at $10,000 cash. Williams is scheduled to appear again later this month. Reporting in Appleton, Matt Jarko, NBC 26.
All right, thank you so much, Matt. And on to Covering America now. Discussions are underway between President Trump's legal team and special counsel investigators about possible options for interviewing the president. All this unfolding as Steve Bannon backtracks on his comments he's made in the book Fire and Fury. NBC's Kristen Walker reports.
This morning, with the Russia probe intensifying, 3 sources familiar with the matter tell NBC News preliminary discussions are underway between the president's legal team and special counsel investigators about a possible interview with President Trump, with Mr. Trump's team exploring a range of options for the format, including whether the president would be interviewed directly by the special counsel Robert Mueller or his investigators, the legal standard for when a president could be interviewed, the location, duration, and topics, and potential compromises like written responses instead of a formal sit-down. At Camp David over the weekend, here's how the president responded when asked whether he's still committed, if asked, to speaking with Mueller personally.
Just so you understand, there's been no collusion.
A fired-up Mr. Trump tried to put the focus on his former rival Hillary Clinton after revelations the Justice Department is again looking into actions by the Clinton Foundation.
There's been no crime. And in theory, everybody tells me I'm not under investigation. Maybe Hillary is, I don't know, but I'm not.
All this amid new fallout over the bombshell book Fire and Fury, which details a White House in chaos. The president's former top advisor, Steve Bannon, is backtracking after he was quoted in the book accusing Donald Trump Jr. of treason for meeting with a Russian lawyer during the campaign. The president dubbed Bannon Sloppy Steve and said he'd lost his mind. Over the weekend, Bannon writing in a statement, his comments were not directed at Trump Jr., but rather the president's former campaign chair, Paul Manafort, also at the meeting, who should have known better. I regret that my delay in responding to the inaccurate reporting regarding Don Jr. has diverted attention from the president's historical accomplishments. Bannon also saying his support of the president is unwavering. On Meet the Press, the book's author, Michael Wolff, made a striking assertion that senior White House officials regularly discuss the 25th Amendment, a constitutional procedure to remove a president, with Wolff claiming many top aides say Trump is unstable and unfit for office.
The 25th Amendment is a concept that is alive every day in the White House.
Mr. Trump took to Twitter over the weekend, touting himself as a very stable genius.
And Oprah Winfrey's powerful speech last night at the Golden Globe Awards has people talking worldwide, some even wondering, is it a hint at a presidential run? Multiple reports say 2 of Winfrey's close friends say she's actively thinking about running for president. One of them even says people have been urging her to do it for months. Winfrey hasn't given out an answer yet, but her longtime partner says a run may not be out of the question. On NBC 26, your official Packers station, the Green Bay Packers introduced their new general manager today at a press conference. Sports director Charlie Satitis takes it from here. Charlie.
Mo, Brian Gutekunst is now officially the 10th general manager in the long and storied history of the Green Bay Packers. And he's a guy who knows his way around the building. Next season will be his 20th working for the team. Gutekunst was one of 3 internal candidates that interviewed for this job, including Elliott Wolf and Russ Ball. Outgoing GM Ted Thompson and head coach Mike McCarthy each had input on the final decision, but ultimately it was team president Mark Murphy who made the call.
He has been viewed as a rising star. I don't want to talk too much, brag about you too much here, Brian, but you're viewed as a rising star within the NFL, and is a great background, great experience, and is an excellent evaluator of talent.
I'm really, really excited about this opportunity. This is an amazing place. There's a standard of excellence here that has been here for a long, long time. Green Bay Packers is a cornerstone franchise of the National Football League. and I'm just really, really pleased to sit here before you.
As Gutekunst takes over personnel decisions for the team, he steps into a post that will look a little different than it has in the past. Head coach Mike McCarthy won't report to Gutekunst. He'll report to team president Mark Murphy. Meanwhile, Russ Ball, who was also up for the general manager job, is taking on an expanded role as executive vice president, director of football operations. Of course, fans really want to know is how will Gutekunst approach free agency? We'll have more on that coming up in sports. For now, keeping you connected, I'm Charlie Sakaitis for NBC 26.
All right, lots of changes happening. Thank you so much, Charlie. And also, when we come back, Governor Walker was in Northeast Wisconsin today. Check out what was on the agenda after the break. Plus, after more than a decade of struggles, one Appleton family says they can happily say home sweet home.
And now, your Storm Shield forecast from NBC 26.
We started off with some cloudy skies this morning after a light dosage of snowfall late last night, but the sunshine came up this afternoon, and guess what? It brought in some warmer temperatures into the 30s and even some 40s later on in parts of the south towards Fond du Lac. They had 40 degrees this afternoon. Right now, 33 degrees in Green Bay. We got winds coming in out of the west-southwest at 9 miles per hour. So that's making a wind chill factor down into the mid-20s, but nothing compared to what we started off the new year with well sub-zero wind chills. Sunset was at 4:31 this afternoon. Across the board in northeast Wisconsin, 35 at Manitowoc, up towards Sturgeon Bay, 32 at Freezing. And in Antigo, you're holding on to 30 degrees right now. Winter being transported out of the south and southwest, even more out of the west now. That's been bringing those milder temperatures. However, a cold front came through. It looks like we'll be cooling off just a tad tomorrow, but still expecting some mild temperatures. Several degrees warmer right now than at this time yesterday afternoon. It looks like we'll be pretty steady during the afternoon tomorrow as well. Clear skies overhead. We had plenty of sunshine. It looks like we'll be seeing mostly clear skies overhead tonight. However, as we get into tomorrow, we'll have some increased clouds as a storm system will be arriving from the west. Here's where that high pressure is down to the south, ushering in some milder, warmer temperatures as we continue on into the next few days. Here's how we pan it out over Skycast. A warm front will pass north of us. We'll be in the warm sector of this storm system, ushering in more warm air into the area. So that's going to be great news for everyone who's tired and just done with a very cold air. However, it won't be lasting for much longer because as we get towards the end of the work week, we got another storm system, this low pressure right here. That's going to be bringing in some pretty heavy snowfall from the Central Plains all the way up towards Minnesota. And behind it, that is when some cold air will be wrapping around here, starting off with some rainfall on Thursday, but then ending with some snowfall as cold air surges in. And yes, another Arctic high pressure, and that's going to drop our temperatures down into the teens. This is where the heaviest snowfall is projected to be. Of course, these numbers could change, but just a general consensus showing it all the way from northeast Wisconsin. So if you're heading towards the Twin Cities, perhaps Wednesday night into Thursday, be worrisome because there is some heavy snowfall in parts of the Twin Cities. But as for us, we're just talking about a dusting, maybe an inch of accumulation by the time that happens by Thursday morning. Currently, just for the overnight period, staying pretty quiet. Temperatures cooling down, however, into the teens with the clear skies overhead. Starting off a little bit sunny tomorrow, but then clouds will be increasing with that warm front passing through, but temperatures rising up into the mid-30s once again, and then cooling a little bit down into the upper 20s overnight. Now, Wednesday morning, we might have a few isolated freezing drizzles, but by the afternoon, temperatures should rise up into the mid-30s once again and just eliminate any frozen precipitation threat. As for tonight, cooling down to 12 degrees with winds out of the southeast at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly clear skies for tomorrow. A nice and sunny day once again, but then increasing clouds later on in the afternoon, high of 35 degrees. Winds out of the south between 10 and 15 miles per hour. The next 3 days, the warmest will be on Thursday, a high of 44 degrees, starting off with some rain showers, but then transitioning over to some snow, and we really start to cool back down by the weekend. High temperatures only struggling to be in the teens and single digits. How about that? A high of 9, Mo. I know we're in this roller coaster pattern.
Right.
If as long as you hold on, we'll have eventually another warm up later on after that.
So essentially what you're saying, the message is enjoy it while you can because we'll be here for a short time.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it is in winter.
All right, thank you so much, Gino. Well, after the break, Governor Walker stops by one Northeast Wisconsin community today. Hear what he had on the agenda after the break. Welcome back. Governor Scott Walker making a stop in Coleman today, backing funding for schools in low-spending districts. Walker says he's getting behind provision that would allow districts to raise property taxes without a vote. He also says he'll ask the legislator in his State of the State speech to pass it. Now, if passed, the combination of property taxes and aid per student will go from $9,100 to $9,400 for the upcoming school year. An Appleton family is finally saying home sweet home this morning. The home was built as a partnership between the Fox Cities Habitat for Humanity and high school students in the Appleton area. The Martinez family moved to Appleton from Chicago back in 2004 and lived in a 2-bedroom mobile home for over a decade. Arturo Martinez and his wife Marie have 3 daughters and needed a bigger home. Arturo was also battling health issues, and with a new home, the family is happy to be in a safer and affordable housing. Also, after the break, want to get away? There's another option coming out of Appleton International Airport. See where when we come back. Welcome back. The Appleton International Airport announced a new nonstop flight to Denver today. Airport officials say Denver has always been a top destination for travel. The flights will be operated daily by Air Wisconsin starting June 8th. Travelers will fly on a 50-seat regional plane. And there's also a new way to bank in eastern Wisconsin using an interactive personal teller machine. USA Today reporting that United One Credit Union opened up a new branch in Sheboygan, the apartment complex in Sheboygan rather. Customers can communicate with employees at the bank's in Manitowoc location via video conference. A brother and sister from Wisconsin will compete for Team USA curling at the Winter Olympics in February, making history along the way as well. First, Matt and Rebecca Hamilton qualified to compete at the Olympics with the U.S. men's and women's curling teams. Then they earned the top spot on the U.S. mixed doubles curling team in the debut of the sport in Pyeongchang. Both are ready for the challenge, they say.
My sister's the best female curler I know and the best female sweeper I know.
And the road to fame doesn't stop there. A few weeks ago, the couple also made an appearance on The Tonight Show. U.S. Figure Skating announced the American pair that will represent Team USA at the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea. U.S. Figure Skating selected married couple Alexa Skimeka-Niram and Chris Niram on Sunday to fill the single pairs quota for South Korea. The Nirams are the first married U.S. pair to make it to the Olympics in 20 years. They also won the national title in 2015 and 2018, but this year it wasn't an easy ride.
I mean, it's super exciting. You know, you work so hard to get to this point, and you only get to the opportunity once every 4 years, and we've had a long couple of years leading into this, so it's just very exciting for us to be named to the Olympic team.
And the opening ceremony for the 2018 Winter Olympic Games is February 9th and can be seen right here on NBC 26. And you know the name of the new Packers general manager, but you may not know his philosophy. What Brian Gutekunst thinks about requiring free agents. That's coming up next in sports.